that just came out here in North Carolina. Y'all get a little bit earlier than the rest of the country. It's Knob Creek Rye. Knob Creek Rye. It is this bottle right here. It just came out. You're going to want to get a bottle of this. This is a combination, a mingle of 5 to 9 year old rye at 100 proof. So it's a little higher proof rye. It's a nice, perfect for a Manhattan. Got enough age on it. It's just really nice. And you're going to notice this one is a little less sweet. This one's going to be a little more spicy because it is the majority grain of rye, not the majority grain of corn. So it's going to be a little bit less sweet, a little more spicy. Knob Creek Rye, a mingle of 5 to 9 at 100 proof. Get the smell, get the taste. It's about 45 bucks. You can't beat the price compared to like scotches and different ones, because this, and we don't make much of this, there's not much of it around, but for about 45 bucks compared to 70, 80, 90 bucks for scotch, it's a hell of a good deal. Taste the difference between the rye and the bourbon? It's a big difference. It's nice though, and a lot of people think the rye is going to be hot, going to blow your ears off like cowboy whiskey. It's not true. Rye is very nice and beautiful, has enough sweetness. 100 proof is also a very important number in the history of bourbon. There was bonded bourbon. Anybody know my old granddad? My favorite bourbon is just awesome bourbon. It's one of them. Some people laugh about it. I don't know why. I mean, I guess Bad Santa drinks it. I don't know if that's one of it. But it is a beautiful high rye bourbon. If you haven't had old granddad in a while, go to the ABC store, buy 2 bottles a day because it's awesome bourbon. But bonded is the first consumer protection legislation in the history of the United States, 1897. Another reason why bourbon is the native spirit of the United States is all that history. Before they came out with laws for food, in 1906 in the Food and Drug Act, there was a law about bourbon, and that was 1897. It said that it had to come from one distillery, had to be at least 4 years old, it had to be exactly 100 proof. Then after Prohibition, when bourbon went out of fashion, it was after Prohibition, we had to totally shut down bourbon. Canadian whiskey was flowing over the border. Tequila was flowing up the border from Mexico. Rum was washing onto the shores in Florida from the Caribbean. But bourbon had to stop because they're right there in the middle of the United States. So bourbon was out of fashion. And after World War II, the guys and gals that served over in Europe, they got the taste for brandies, cognacs, scotches, and Irish. That's what they drank. So the 50s and 60s was a bad time for bourbon, and it kind of went south. But you can't do much to bourbon to cheapen it up other than add water to it. So they watered it down to lower proofs. The proof that they chose was either 80.6 or 86. And 86 became the proof. I think they wrote out 80.6 to make it look like it was 86. And then the government said, no, you got to put a number on there. So it's so they put 86 on there, made it 86. And it kind of, bourbon went out of fashion until these small batch and single barrel bourbons came back. So isn't it funny to this day, when you do away with something or you killed it, you 86'd it. And that's where that story goes. So that's pretty cool. And some of these stories are bullshit. You're going to figure out which ones are and which ones aren't. But that is a true story.